Good afternoon, friends. It's currently 4 p.m. and it has been the most rainy, dark, miserable day. I have every single light turned on in the house because I can't handle this darkness. I need some light. And you know those TikToks that are like, we never turn on the big lights. Today I'm turning on the big lights. We need light. Yeah, I really need to get myself pumped up because honestly, this morning I woke up, it's day one of that time of the month, and I just was like, literally like this. And I didn't go to the gym this morning, but I didn't go to the gym yesterday, and that's one fun little rule that we like to stick by. I don't remember where I saw it or who said it, but someone said, just don't miss 2 workouts in a row. You can miss one day, that's fine, but get back on the horse the next day. And so today, you and we're gonna have a little chat together here, and we're gonna get back on the horse today. Am I having pre-workout in the afternoon? Yes, I am. Could that have a small effect on my sleep this evening? Maybe. But we will survive, and I'm having half a scoop, so it's fine. We'll sweat it out, I promise. All right, now that we've got our pre-workout mixed, you and I are gonna sit and have a chat together because it's almost been a month to the day since I posted my 7 things I'm doing for a hot girl winter video, and I've continued doing little snippets of the series on Instagram, TikTok, and also talking about it very briefly on YouTube. But it's been such a fun month. I have been having so much fun creating the videos and talking to you guys about hot girl winter, and I love seeing how many of you are getting excited for this, how many of you have been joining me for Hot Girl Winter, and just like this series I feel like has just brought such a loving, supportive community together, and it's been incredible to see, and I'm so proud of all of us who are partaking in any way that we can. And quite frankly, I just wanted to have a good old chat with you guys and talk about this. Let's talk about Hot Girl Winter. I want to answer some of your questions. I asked you guys on Instagram to send some questions over. Thank you so much to whoever suggested that we do a little Hot Girl Winter Q&A because it's always fun and I could talk about it forever. And I kind of just wanted to squash some assumptions, squash some rumors, and really just have a good old chat. So on that note, I'm not here to provide any medical advice, and I also don't have any experience when it comes to eating disorders. So if you are triggered by those kinds of things, please do take care of yourself and what you are consuming on the internet. I am simply here to provide encouragement, inspiration, entertainment. I'm just bringing you along on my journey, and hopefully you can pick up helpful tips on the way. I am absolutely not a doctor or a fitness professional. So take with that what you will. I've written a list of the questions to try to keep us on track. So let us begin. The first question was, how did I start in this hot girl winter, this whole fitness journey? For those of you who have followed me along since the beginning, you'll know there's been a lot of different phases. We've gone through a lot of different things together. We were once a spin girly. I was once an F45 gal. We had a hot minute with bar and Pilates and all the studio things. Like, we've done it all. It's been many, many years of trying different things and having different phases and just trying to figure it out. And you know, it's been a beautiful long time, a lot of self-discovery, if you will. But I would say that I officially started in 2021. I posted a New Year's resolution video in 2021 where I centered the whole thing around nothing changes without change. I was super inspired by Jen Atkin at the time, and she had created her like habit journal, and I felt like that was a real shift for me. That was coming out of the very long lockdown that we were all experiencing together. That was coming out of me doing home workouts for such a long time, and I really was determined to kind of change my lifestyle, develop healthy habits, and just kind of turn my life around. I basically wanted to do a complete 180 of my life, and that was really where it started. And at that time, that was when I had the Peloton bike and when I bought the kettlebells. If anyone remembers the little set of colorful kettlebells. And we were still doing the home workouts at the time. I think the gyms were actually still closed at that point, but that really was kind of the beginning for me in this phase of my fitness life where I really wanted to make a change. Because again, favorite quote, honestly, it's such a good quote. Nothing changes without change. Dun, 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 dun. So yeah, January 2021, basically that entire year I was doing a mixture of home workouts, and then that was when I started going to F45 as well, and that was a really good basic start for me with weightlifting, because prior to that I was 100% a class girly. I would never step foot in a gym. I would make fun of I used to make fun of Dan for going to the gym, and I'd be like, I'm not gonna go to the gym. What am I gonna do at the gym? I don't want my muscles to get too big. Like, I was one of those people. That was when we were still living in Toronto, and then we moved here back to BC and built out the home gym. And the year of 2022 was kind of a mixture of me still doing classes, still going to F45, but also incorporating my home gym. I had a notebook where I was writing out all my workouts. I was doing everything myself. I was creating my own workouts, Googling the best workout split to do. And I felt like I was trying my best, but when I look back at the notebooks, I was like, oh, I wasn't very consistent. I was still kind of a little lost puppy because I was just trying to come up with it by myself and wasn't seeking professional help, which led to the end of 2022 where I think it was October, where Dan had sent me the DIY Body company and the program, and they run an online coaching program. And that was when I signed up for the program. I signed up and started with DIY Body in November of 2022, November last year. And I just finished my first year doing DIY Body, and I feel like it changed my life. Like, if it wasn't evident enough. And through the program, I got fitness training and coaching. I got my workout plan, and I also got a diet and nutrition plan. And I learned so much between the program and also finding resources like Huberman, like Andrew Huberman, the podcast. Just so much of the information. I feel like I just learned a lot this year, and it really, I had to unlearn a lot of the things and a lot of the assumptions that I had, a lot of incorrect beliefs when it comes to health and fitness. Like, I thought that I was so healthy before, and so many of the things that I used to do, like, I look back at some of my old videos and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I thought that was real. I can't believe I thought that was healthy. Or it just really, this year has been a huge learning curve and a really big simplification when it comes to my health and fitness journey. And I feel like with starting the Hot Girl Winter series, that's kind of what I want to do. I just want to show you guys what I'm doing, the things that I've learned, and the routines that I have now implemented in my life. Because for those of you who have been along for all of the journeys, like, so much has changed, and I'm so curious to see how much more is going to change as we go forward. So that's kind of a long-winded way of describing my little journey, how I got started, if you will, and what I've been doing for the last year. So now the next two questions were the two most asked questions on the little Instagram poll that I did. So many of you asked, how do I stay consistent and how do you stay motivated? And I'm not gonna lie, I also shared in that feeling. I used to look at people and be like, how do you do it? How do you do it? What are you taking, or what did you read, or what did you see that just like clicked the button on for you? What made you motivated? How does one want to get up and do this at 5 a.m.? And when it comes to motivation, Dan's cousin actually said something to me once, because I was asking him that. I'm like, ugh, I just don't know how you do it. How do you find the motivation? And he's like, motivation doesn't exist. It's discipline. And I sat with that one for a while. I had to, that really turned a little knob for me. I was like, oh, that's interesting. And fair enough. There's so many beautiful examples and so many lovely quotes that I've seen where it's that idea of every day that you wake up, you get to decide how that day is going to go. You get to decide who you are, who you want to be. You can just change. And I think that's a really cool, powerful thought to have. And I see a lot of that on TikTok when people are talking about manifestation and deciding who you want to be and who you want to become. It's like, you can really just decide to be a badass fit girly. I don't know. There are obviously things that you can do and bring into your life and change in your life that makes all these things easier and makes the discipline part of it easier to come by. And one of those things for me in terms of motivation and discipline, I really need something externally to help. And that's where having the online coach really helped, because for myself, I am an inherently lazy person. I really am. I could easily spend all day sitting doing absolutely nothing. I am a bookworm and I am a gamer. That's a very hard mix for someone who's trying to find discipline and motivation and being active. I'm not a naturally active person. I love to sit. I love to lay. So having an external resource to hold me accountable has really, really helped in my discipline and motivation. When I complete a task on my to-do list, I get to click a little box of check. When I have my check-ins with the coach, it's like, how did your week go? And I'm like, I really sucked this week. Crap, I'll be better next week. Or I had a really amazing week. And it's just kind of having that external cheerleader to help motivate you. And that's been really nice. It's not going to be helpful for everyone. Some people are super self-motivated, extremely disciplined. I have so many friends who they're on it. They do it. They got no problem. They don't need a coach. Me, I definitely needed that extra little push to help me. And that's where the online coach for me has been super beneficial. Now, following up from the motivation and discipline talk, the next most asked question I got was, how do I wake up at 5 a.m.? In regards to the 5 a.m. wake up, everybody has different schedules. Everybody has different timing. Everybody has different natural body clocks that they are working with for their fitness journey. For me, I am definitely a morning person. I thrive in the morning. I love waking up. Oh, my sunrise to me, I get this like earthly wiggle, giggle, giddiness. Like I just am one with the daylight. I get sad. Seasonal affective disorder, that is me. I actually just ordered myself a happy light because this darkness just really does affect me so much. So even though I am technically a morning person, I still work out at night. I have to tailor my schedule to whatever's happening that day, that week, what have you. Like today, I'm working out in the evening. But it's just not ideal for me. I like to get my workout out of the way. I dread it throughout the day. I don't look forward to leg day. I stress about my leg day, which is what I'm doing today. The sooner I get it out of the way, the better. I need to wake up and go and do my workout right away. The second I give myself any time to think about it, I will sit and stew, and I will come up with a million reasons and excuses why I shouldn't do my workout in that moment. Like I did this morning. I was like, oh, I have my period. I'm a little, I'll just do it later. I'll do it later. Well, now here I am later, wishing I had just done my workout this morning. I love to get my workout out of the way. It is the best feeling after having a busy workday and not needing to then go do my workout. But sometimes it just is that way. The best workout schedule is the one that you can stick to. So whatever that means for you, the timing is irrelevant. I like doing my workout early in the morning. Some people like doing their workouts at night. Some people like doing their workouts on their lunch break. It just, the timing doesn't matter. My sarcastic response to how do you get up at 5 a.m. is go to bed earlier. I am not a nice person when I don't get enough sleep. So absolutely, the 5 a.m. is only effective if I have a good night's sleep. I need to be thinking about and preparing to go to bed by 9:30 in order for me to have the best day possible if I'm waking up at 5. We'll leave it at that. The next question is, what is my workout split? And that's something that I actually haven't posted yet in my little Hot Girl Winter series. I was planning on talking about it, but that's also because my workout split kind of changes all the time. Like as of 2 weeks ago, I had 4 days of cardio per week, 2 upper body days, 3 leg days. Before that, I had 2 upper body days, 2 leg days, 1 full body. And now I have 2 leg days and 3 upper body days. So I'm not really one to speak on the workout split. That's definitely in my coach's hands, and there's so many resources that you can do. I just like the workout split's always changing, but it's important to stick to that workout split and be consistent with it, because you're not going to have any muscle growth or changes if you're not doing the same moves over and over again. So the short answer of that is right now, 2 leg days, 3 upper body days. And ironically, I have no cardio in, but that's just because we're playing so much tennis. So I think my coach just recognizes that and sees our activity level and isn't putting that into our schedule, even though I love ticking off my little cardio box. But that is my current workout split. Also on that note, the next question is, what are the apps that I use? Now, there's kind of a multitude of answers here, because the 2 apps that I use through DIY Buddy are MyFitnessPal, and that is for the food tracking, the macro tracking. My coach does see that. And then they use the Trainerize app. But when you open the app, it doesn't say Trainerize, it says DIY Buddy. So I don't know what this looks like when it's not the DIY Buddies program, but I do have this app that I use through my coach, and it has all of my workouts put in, it has my meal plan put in, it has my step goal put in. I take my progress photos through here. All my stats are on here. It's just everything is kind of on this app. I also heavily use my Apple Watch when it comes to my workouts. So for my step tracking, my workout tracking, Apple Health, Peloton, all that good stuff is all through my Apple Watch. Obviously the Aura has been a newer accessory, and I mainly use this for cycle tracking and my sleep, which you can also do through your Apple Watch. It's just your preference. I'd say like my necessity is the Apple Watch and some kind of tracking app, whatever that looks like for you. Something that you can put in your workouts and hold you accountable and let you be consistent with the tracking of them. A lot of the questions were asking how long my workouts are and how much time I dedicate in a day to the program and Hot Girl Winter in its entirety. And that's a tough one, because that's actually something I really struggle with, especially being someone who works at home and no longer lives in a walkable area or in the city. And that's something that's been really hard. I definitely do dedicate a lot of time, and we're trying to kind of change that up a little bit. If you guys saw in my last vlog, I have officially purchased a laptop desk, the laptop tray, so that I can be doing my emails and things while I'm on my laptop. Dan has the walking pad. He's been crushing his steps every day while he's been editing, especially during LANMAS. But it is something that you really have to think about and you really have to plan for, especially if you are very, very sedentary. That's what I struggle with because I live a very, very sedentary lifestyle. On days when I'm out and about in the city, no problem. I am crushing my steps like nobody's business, walking to and from, but sometimes it's not gonna happen. So when it comes to my workout, I need usually an hour. I need an hour comfortably to do my workouts. I think one of my workouts is like an hour and 5 minutes, but usually a good window for me is 45 minutes to an hour. And that's very typical. If you're someone who enjoys classes, you go to F45, you go to Barry's, those are usually 45 to 50 to 55 minutes. And I'd say for the last year, no matter what my workout splits were, I can almost always finish my workout within an hour. So that's nice. It's more so the steps that occupy a lot more time. I have to be really thoughtful about making sure that I'm getting my steps in. That's something that our tennis helps with too. So on my cardio days, I'm playing tennis for an hour and my workout's an hour. So it's a guaranteed 2 hours dedicated to this almost every single day, 5 days of the week. And the rest of the time, I just have to make sure that I am remaining active and getting steps in when I can. Errol's wanting to join us. Now, speaking of cardio and getting your steps in, a few people asked if my steps during cardio count towards my daily count of steps, and yes, they absolutely do. My step goal right now is 12,000 steps a day. When I play an hour of tennis, I usually get between 3,000 and 4,000 steps. If you're a runner, I bet your step count is beautiful every day. But yes, the steps that I get during cardio do count towards my overall step goal, but I still, like right now, I've gone about my whole day and I'm only at 5,700 steps. I'm gonna be married to the treadmill for another solid hour tonight before I go to bed. And that's just my bad because I sat on my tushy all day long on emails when I could have been doing the same thing on the treadmill. So that was a lack of preparation for me today. And now this is where I would like to have a frank discussion with you because a lot of people, myself included, used to just despise the idea of going to the gym. And this is where back in 2021, I just wanted to have that mind shift change because for everything about our bodies, health, longevity, this one vessel, this one unit that we get for our entire life, I find it funny that so many of us had that mentality of the horror. Oh my gosh, how could I dedicate 2 hours in my 24-hour day to fitness and health? But I will happily sit and crush a Netflix series. I will happily go and sit in a 3-hour concert movie. No problem, I'll go out and sit at a restaurant or a bar for hours and hours each day during the week. It's just kind of that acknowledgement and a shift in priorities that allows you to look at it a different way because I'd be like, I'm not spending more than an hour, absolutely not. I went to my 45-minute class today, I'm not doing more than that. And obviously, again, everyone's schedules are different. You have to cater it to your lifestyle, your children, your job. Like everybody's life is different. Everyone's going to have different priorities. And I think it's just up to you to decide what works best for you and your schedule. There are some things that I'm really not willing to do. I'm not willing to be a Stairmaster girly. I don't know how people walk on the Stairmaster for an hour. That is impossible to me. I also don't know how people go for runs, like jogs. Like some people just jog for an hour and I have no idea how you do that. I need to be occupied. I need to be having fun. Some people enjoy that. I do not. My fun and my preferred form of cardio is something like tennis where I can be playing. I'm playing a game. I'm fighting for something. I'm spending time with my husband. And I used to really hate going to the gym and I kind of just learned to love it. I learned to suck it up after years of complaining. I have finally come to a place where I enjoy the thrill of growing stronger, and that does delight me. And it never used to. I used to stare at gym machines with hatred. And now I get excited. I get excited to try new machines and equipment and go to new gyms. It's all a phase. We're gonna move to the kitchen. Now, all of these questions are both my favorite and my least favorite to discuss about. How strict is the meal plan, and can you talk about the macros and weighing your food? Dun, 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 dun. Now, this is something that it's hard to talk about this on the internet, because what I have found is that there's kind of no happy medium when discussing health, fitness, diet plans, weight loss, without being inundated with people saying it's too obsessive, people saying you're going to develop an eating disorder. Like, there's just so much of that, and it's kind of surprised me that you're not able to just discuss creating a healthier lifestyle without those assumptions being rolled in. So I really do wish that this was something I could speak more openly about, but again, I'm never looking to trigger someone or offend someone or lead someone astray in any way. But the reality is, if you have fitness goals, if you have aesthetic goals, like I have said for my entire life, like since I was in high school, since I played sports, my siblings were ripped. My sister Tanisha came out of the womb with like abs and muscles, like biceps. This kid was ripped from birth. And, you know, my brothers and my family used to tease me about not being able to flex. So like literally since I was a child, I always wanted biceps. It was just always a goal of mine. I wanted to look like an athlete. I played sports. I just love muscle mommies. I really do. It's just always been an aesthetic I've loved. Not like, you know, there's bodybuilding levels, and while I respect that as a sport, that's not a physique that I aspire to at this point in my life anyway. It's just not, you know, I just want to be ripped. Muscle mass is so important for your health, longevity, your joint, your bone, your everything. Building muscle is so good for you. When you see someone in their like 60s and 70s and they are just positively shredded, I'm like, oh, that is my dream. My dream is to be an old lady and still absolutely crushing it. And I don't know how someone can look at that and be like, oh, that's obsessive, that's unhealthy, those are bad goals. Like, I think that a lot of us would benefit from bringing in a more disciplined and healthier approach when it comes to our eating and working out and our lifestyles in general. I'll just leave it at that. And I do ask that you allow body positivity to go in always. If I tell you that I want to be a shredded muscle mommy, I ask for your support. And I also want you to understand that that can be done in a healthy way. It doesn't have to mean that I'm taking shortcuts and doing things and eating in a disordered manner. Like, you can achieve healthy goals in a healthy way over long periods of time. Like, I've been doing this for a year and I have had very minimal changes to my overall size. Like, it seems significant, but when you plot it out over the timeline that it's taken, I have been kind of technically working towards this for years. There hath been no shortcuts taken. This has been a lifestyle overhaul, and this has been a very, very long time. I think that's a really difficult reality of the internet, is so many people see a before and after photo and they're like, well, I want that right now. And they don't consider the fact that that before and after might have been taken 4 years apart, and so many lifestyle changes and over such a long period of time. And so many of us are kind of looking for these quick fixes, these quick diet plans, like lose 30 pounds in 30 days. And these people just end up eating cups of steamed vegetables and starving. And you're like, this is so terrible. How do you promote this lifestyle? It's like, because it's not being done in a achievable, manageable, healthy way. But just know that through the right means, with the right guidance, you can. I was getting a little sidetracked there, sorry. Back to the original question. The meal plan, weighing food, and your macros. So macros, you can do an online calculator. You don't need anybody to tell you that. You put your age, your height, your weight, and depending on what your goals are, if your goal is to lose weight, if your goal is to build muscle, if your goal is to maintain, it's gonna spit out a bunch of different numbers at you depending on what you're looking for. So you can determine your macros, literally just Google macro calculator online and you can figure out what those are. Right now, I am remaining in a calorie deficit, but I'm pumping up the protein. But that's just because I haven't stuck to it, really. Like, the meal plan, I haven't actually stuck to my coach's meal plan for more than 4 days at a time for many, many, many months. And that's because I personally live a very inconsistent lifestyle and schedule with travel and everything. We also have a lot of family members who don't believe in the program, and they just love to shove carrot cake and dessert in our face constantly, and I just love them for it. But yeah, it can be really hard. It can be really, really hard to stick to the meal plan. Now, in terms of how strict the meal plan is and weighing your food, this is something that was super beneficial for me and was really interesting to learn, like, what proper portions are. I have thoroughly enjoyed the process of tracking my food and kind of like seeing how my body and my mood and my sleep and my energy levels are affected depending on what I'm eating throughout the day, and kind of figuring out my happy balance of food. And at the same time, I had so many issues before, like so many, my digestion issues. I have allergies that I really don't pay much attention to, but there's like grogginess, my energy, like so many of my previous issues that I would go and seek help or guidance from elsewhere. Like, go to a naturopath and they're like, don't eat eggs. Like, so many of the issues that I was having went away the second I addressed like a proper, healthy, portioned meal plan. I just didn't realize how much of a negative impact my previous eating habits were having on my life. And it's amazing how much is improved on just changing your eating habits and eating the proper portions and eating healthy whole foods and being conscious of how much you're eating of certain ingredients in your life. It's just fascinating. It's science to see that what you put in your body has an effect on your body. So that part of it has been really cool. And when it comes to the program and how strict the meal plan is, you're gonna get what you put into it. So if you want to be really, really strict with your meal plan, you're gonna see the results that the meal plan is there to give you. And finding that line between the strictness and balance is just up to you and your lifestyle and what you're looking for. So a meal plan is as strict as you want it to be. Now, on that note, a lot of you were asking for tips for staying on track while eating out, having a social life, traveling during the holidays, etc., etc. Now, I did mention this before, but when I first started the program last year, I stuck to it. Like, I did not eat outside of my meal plan for the first month, and I felt amazing. I felt the best that I had ever felt in my life. There was nothing but purity going into my body. Since then, I've definitely learned what I can get away with. I have definitely found a bit more balance when it comes to my everyday life and while traveling. And it's kind of just controlling what you're able to control, especially when eating out and while on the go, while traveling. And the biggest thing for me is making sure that I get my protein intake, traveling with my supplements, my greens, my multivitamins, taking my creatine every day and being consistent with it. Like, if I'm getting my protein in, I find that's the hardest thing to do when you're eating out, because you realize how little protein you're actually eating. And so when I travel, obviously I pack my little health cube with me and I bring my protein powder, and I also really try to keep track of my fiber, because that for me and my body and its functions, those are the biggest things that I need to stay on top of. And the rest is just kind of, enjoy your life, make substitutions when you need to, but it's up to you and your lifestyle when it comes to the food that you're eating and what you're able to eat. Everyone has different dietary restrictions, everyone has different goals, everyone has different macros. So just making sure that you can get your protein, eat the veggies, get your steps in, and you're keeping up with your workouts, you're good. You're rocking it, Poppet. And speaking of that, the follow-up question to that is, how do you deal with sweet cravings? And this is, Dan wrote my Achilles heel, because it really is. I never considered myself an addictive person, but I realized that with sugar and with certain things, I don't know what else it would be. What's the psychological or mental description of knowing what the consequence is and doing it anyway? I know how my body reacts. I know the breakout that I will get. I know the gas that I will have. I know the constipation that will come. I know the pain that I will feel when I eat ice cream or cheese or a big, succulent, creamy bowl of pasta, and I don't stop. I accept all of the consequences. I accept all of the pain. And every single time I drive by a Dairy Queen, I taste the blizzard. I feel it in my mouth. I taste it, I feel it sitting in my belly, and I know the pain that will come. But for me, this isn't a meal plan issue. For me, this is a dairy allergy issue, because oh my God, I see a charcuterie board, mozzarella sticks, boursin. I love cheese, I love dairy, I love cream, I love ice cream. It's one of those things where I'm being told I can't have it until I want it more. So when it comes to sweet cravings, for me, it's dairy cravings, and I don't know how to curb that, honestly. There's no substitute. You can pretend. We can try to ninja creamy our way out of creating a fake little blizzard, but it's just, there's no substitute, is there? I don't know, man. I do my best to find alternatives. I'm not even going to say healthier options. I try my best to find alternatives for the things that I love, i.e. creamy, sweet, succulent, creamy Alfredo sauce. I'm positively ill if I eat it. So I try to just, make a really salty, brothy ramen or some other non-dairy alternative. You just have to find the substitutions that work for you and work for your lifestyle, work for your meal plan. And for me, when it comes to sweet cravings, I just make sure to work that into my day. So the Atkins bars, actually, the dessert bars. There's a chocolate mousse bar, the chocolatey caramel nut bar, little cheesecake bars. These are great, and they're super high in fiber. So instead of taking a fiber supplement, I'm I'm just gonna have this little succulent chocolatey caramelly chocolate bar, and it's high in fiber, so I'm kind of getting a little 2-in-1 there. And that's lots of chemicals, lots of random ingredients in these healthier alternatives, I understand, but we're all doing our best. There's people who do drugs, and I eat an Atkins bar. I don't know what to tell you. Now, speaking of substances, another huge part of the meal plan, hot or winter, all of this is how has my relationship with alcohol changed? And let me tell you, it has changed a lot. I feel like this is a subject that I could speak about a lot. I have a lot of feelings. I have a lot of different pieces of this subject that I would love to talk about, but now is not the time. As a brief overview, when I first signed on to the program and I knew that I was tracking my food and counting my calories, I was very nervous about alcohol and drinking and social experiences, because so many, I'd say like 100% of my social interactions prior to the program were centered around alcohol. It would be like, what do you do on the weekends? You go out for drinks. What do you do when you go to an influencer event? They've got trays of drinks. Like everything was centered around alcohol, and alcohol was such a social part of mine and so many of our friends and family's lives. And I was really nervous about it. The last holiday season, when I went to the UK, I went to a few holiday events, like over Christmas time, I didn't have a single drink. Maybe I had a glass of champagne at Christmas. I don't actually remember, but I know for everything I was like, no, I'll have a water, thank you. And it was a really, really big lifestyle change for me. And at first it was really hard. I found myself kind of like socially dependent on alcohol and kind of used it as a gauge as to whether or not I'd be having fun. I was one of those people who would be like, oh, I'm so much more bubbly and so much more outgoing with alcohol. And while that may be true, over time, it definitely got easier. I found my substitutions. I no longer rely on it socially. And that's like, guys, honestly, like I can talk about it more at length at a later date, but there's so much that I have learned over the last year, and so much of my relationship has changed with alcohol. And it's not like, I'm not one of those people who's going to be like, I'm sober curious or I'm going sober. Like, it's just become something that I no longer need. The cravings went away. The reliance on a cocktail went away. Like, I'm not like, oh, I had a really busy day, I need to wind down with a glass of wine. Like, it's just not in my mind anymore. Like, that's something that has really been a huge shift in my life. Even at our wedding, Dan and I each had one glass of champagne for the whole night, and we both went to bed and we had a fabulous sleep. And oh my God, the hangovers, guys. Like my hangovers got so bad. I will have a 2 or 3 day hangover easily if I have a big night of drinking. Like I just can't handle it anymore. And that was also a huge part of why I think it's been much easier, because my anxiety is gone. My hangovers are gone. And now with the Oura Ring too, like when I do have a drink or 2 drinks, the change in my heart rate, my body temperature, my sleep quality, like it just wasn't bringing a lot of good to my life at all. But however, I also don't say no to it when the occasion permits. It was Vanessa's 30th birthday the other day, and we all cheers a lovely little mimosa at brunch, and my bachelorette, oh my God, we partied in Mexico. Tequila was flowing. Like, I'm not saying I'm never gonna drink again, but it's just something that is no longer a consistent part of my daily life like it used to be. I hope that kind of covers my general feelings, but yeah, I have a lot of thoughts. I have a lot of feelings, and the Huberman podcast was a huge part of that alcohol discussion for me. So the final question that I want to answer is, what is my goal and what are my long-term plans post-program? So this is the thing. I don't necessarily have a goal. I don't have a weight goal. I don't have a size goal. I don't care. I don't have a number. There's no numeric value to my goal. My goal is that I want to be healthy and ripped, and I want to live forever. And I just wanted to make health and wellness and fitness a happy, very substantial part of my life. And that's what I said back in 2021. And I'm really proud of the changes I've made in my lifestyle. And I feel like I've really worked very hard to make that a reality. And I'm excited to see where that goes. And there's always room for improvement. I so look forward to seeing how I'm going to react to this video in the next year or two and where this goes. The short answer is my goal is to just be healthy and do the best that I can for my body. I don't really know how else to wrap that up, but as far as my plans post-program, like I've signed on for another year, so I'm going to be doing this for another year, but I hope that I will just continue to learn and hone in on the specifics of my body's functions and the workouts that I like to do and what a long-lasting and sustainable routine looks like for me. And I think that's been really helpful working with a coach to do that and seeing how my body and health changes. I'm so excited to see what the next year is going to bring. And as far as what I want to continue doing for the Hot Girl Winter series, obviously it's not going to be winter forever, but I'm excited to just continue posting about it and bringing you guys along. And I think it's really inspiring having a community to talk about this stuff with, and equally being inspired. I'm inspired seeing your guys' posts. Like sometimes if I'm feeling sad or unmotivated when I wake up in the morning and then I see that a bunch of you guys have tagged me and you're all crushing your workouts, it's all very motivating and very inspiring to be a part of that online. And it's been bringing me a lot of joy, and I hope it's been bringing you guys a lot of joy too. And I just want to keep having so much fun with it. I want to keep bringing you guys along. I want to keep posting about it. And this is where I'm going to ask you guys, what do you want to see? What other topic would you like me to talk about? Are you liking the little videos that I've been posting on Instagram and TikTok? What do you want to see more of? Is there anything that I haven't talked about yet that I need to talk about? One thing I haven't really talked about is my favorite workout gear. That's one that I want to do. But I'm happy to keep sharing recipes with you. I'll keep showing you guys my workouts. And if you like to see the workouts and the mundane daily life tidbits, then, check back in the vlogs. I'm always posting little things in there. And yeah, I think in general, we're just going to keep rolling, y'all. I guess that the parting message that I would like to leave you with is that the truth about Hot Girl Winter, which is what I had written in my notes. What's the truth? Give me the tea, the real dirt, the truth about Hot Girl Winter. The truth is that it just doesn't have to be that difficult. It doesn't have to be that complicated. The best routine that you can do is one that you can stick to. Working out doesn't have to be overcomplicated. Don't be scared of the gym. It's not that serious. Pick up some weights and put them back down. Google is your best friend. I love you guys a lot. Thank you for coming along with me for Hot Girl Winter. I hope this answered some of your questions. Can't wait to hear from you in the comments down below, and I will see you all tomorrow for a new LANMAS video. Bye!